Hello, everyone. Welcome into another Commit to Hit recap. Oui, magnifique. I'm sorry I had to do that, but if you watch the golf today, you'll know why. So before we dive in, after that, please make sure you subscribe to get more content like that. Only takes one click. Help me make this channel as good as it can be. Really enjoy doing it, so please go subscribe right now. Do it very quickly. All right. And find and follow me at Commit to Hit on Twitter and TikTok, where I'll put some of the main points from this full recap into shorter videos on TikTok and as well as YouTube Shorts too. So if you subscribe, you catch me on there too. All right, so let's get right into the Farmers. Don't need to hear my French two words that I know anymore or that impression. So Saturday finish with big NFL Championship Sunday. Always fun. We've got the White Claw today. Unfortunately, I don't have any Twisted Teas left, so this is, I don't know, very old from the last party I had at my house. So we got White Claws instead of water today, going into a work day tomorrow. So Farmers, historically, well-regarded course, has hosted major championships, has a pretty, not a great field, but decent field this week. Cantlay, Xander, Finau, Will Zalatoris, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa, Ludwig, others that are just off the top of my head there. So a fair amount of big names playing. Unfortunately, most of the tournament was a snooze fest with a conglomerate of no names at the top of the leaderboard for pretty much throughout the tournament. So we're gonna skip all of that. We're gonna get right to the final round. And even the final round was a slog to get through. It was like a 5.5 hour round for the leaders. I think they teed off right around 2 and finished at like 5:40, which is, oh, or, I'm sorry, not 5:40, 7:40 Eastern time, which is yuck. I hate playing in tournaments that long. I can't imagine having to keep my brain focused on winning money, life changing money for that long. Um, so coming in the final round today, we have Steven Yeager, who he had a big year on the Corn Ferry Tour a few years back, but hasn't really done much recently. Matthew Pavon, he is the Frenchman. I'm sure you can guess why I did the French accent before. Frenchman, rookie year, finished in the top 10 of the DP World Tour last year, earns his way onto the PGA Tour, so he's a rookie this year. And then we have Nikolai Højgaard, who was on the Ryder Cup team for Team Europe this past year. They're 1, 2, 3 coming into Saturday. Um, Enter some names we know. Once we're kind of getting towards the end of the front nine, we got Finau going out 32 to get within one shot of the lead. Xander and Ludwig get to within 3 shots of the lead after 9 holes. Even Will Zalatoris, he was within 4. Got more on Will Zalatoris later. But unfortunately, none of them could get anything going on the back nine. I think they all shot either even or over par on the back nine. So it's all coming down to the same guys I listed before: Pavon, Yeager, and Nikolai. So things start to heat up on 14. So Yeager blows one off the planet right onto a manhole cover, and unbelievably, so they show they're playing in threesomes today. So they showed Nikolai's tee shot first, I think. He was down the middle in the fairway. Then they didn't show Yeager. They they showed it, but so Nikolai, they showed the shot tracer. Yeager, they didn't, and he went miles left or right where we would have loved to see that. And then they show Pavon, who also went right down the middle. Like show us the the crazy shank right, like a disgusting slice right. We want to see that one, like Wyndham Clark, like my logo for this show. I want to see that shot tracer, not the ones that go down the middle. But I digress. So Yeager blows one off the planet right, like I said, ends up making bogey, falls to 11 under. He had pretty much been in the lead most of the week, and again coming into Saturday, he was leading. Pavon, he at this point is 13 under. He's the leader. He goes over the back of the green on 14, which is totally dead, but gets a nice break. Somehow gets up and down, almost jars his pitch from behind the green. Stays at 13 under, makes par. Nikolai jars one, makes birdie. He's 11 under par. So we got Pavon at 13, Yeager at 11, Nikolai also at 11. So, where are we at? So we get to 16 is where we go next. And Pavon makes a gutsy par from 24 feet. He's now 2 up with 2 to play. It's still 13 and 11 for the other guys. Going to 17. So Jaeger actually had a decent shot at birdie on 16, which he blew right after Pavon makes that gutsy 24 footer. And then right after that, Steven Jaeger goes a nice duck hook left into the hazard, has to re-tee. He's basically done. Has a slight chance on 18, but for all intents and purposes, he is done. So it's basically down to Pavon and Nikolai for the rest of 17 and going into 18. Pavon misses a shorty on 17, bogeys. He's at 12. Nikolai's at 11, going to 18. Then things get actually pretty compelling. So Pavon pulls one left off the tee into the bunker, has lip trouble, is probably going to have some trouble getting out of it. Nikolai pipes one down the middle. Nikolai gets it right center of the green, has a decent shot at eagle, or has a putt at it at least. Pavon, again, he has this lip trouble, and he takes a whack at it, pulls it a little bit, and goes into some deep rough. So I'm sure if you're watching it, as I'm watching it, he's probably boned. He's making at least bogey from here. Fantastic recovery shot out of the deep rough over water, puts it to 8 feet. So then we've got both of them on the green at this point, Nikolai and Pavon. Again, Pavon had bogey written all over it. We had playoff written all over it. It could have been a 5-person playoff if crazy things happened. But Nikolai just misses his eagle putt a little long, a little right. And then Pavon from 8 feet drills it and wins the tournament. So it was actually some compelling golf when we got to the final hole there, but it took forever to get there. It felt like 13 through 15 took like 2 hours to get through. But for Pavon, gutsy final few shots. Again, he's another rookie winner we have. Well, Dunlap wasn't a rookie; he's an amateur. Now he's a pro. We're gonna get to that too. But rookie winner, well deserved. Those final 2 shots, the shot out of the rough, which covering that water, you could easily chunk that, go right into the water. It's over. You can try and overpower it, and it goes long of the green, and you're making par at best. Fantastic shot, great putt. Deserving winner there. Good for him. So sticking with the tournament before we get into a little bit more golf news now, we're going to get back to Willie Z a little bit. So in my opinion, this is a great time to scoop up all of the Will Zalatoris master shares that you can get. I got them today at plus 4,000 going into the Masters, and I think it's probably just going to go down from there. Definitely getting back into form. Great history at the Masters. He's now healthy. Is this the year that he wins a major? Last time he was healthy, if we remember, he was contending at the Masters and the U.S. Open. Made it to the final hole on both of those. Or no, that was I forget which. I know it was PGA Championship with or U.S. Open with Matt Fitzpatrick, and then it was a PGA Championship with Justin Thomas when he won as well. So last time we saw him healthy, and then the year before he had the run at the Masters. So last time we saw him healthy, he was a major championship, Brooks Koepka-esque kind of guy. So we'll see if he can get back to that, and if this is a year now healthy that he can get back to a major or win a major for the first time in his career. Additional golf news. So let's switch here to picture in picture. So the other golf news that we have going on. So we've got Nick Dunlap turns pro. Absolute no-brainer. Winning in the PGA Tour, on the PGA Tour as an amateur is a huge deal. Again, the last person to do it was Phil Mickelson. Obviously, you know that if you can win as an amateur and you're in college, you might as well go pro. He's probably got big things ahead of him. I'm excited to see what he will do. Like I said last week, he made a fan out of me after like calling him out for being like milquetoast, boring, problematic, or resembling the problem on the PGA Tour that everybody's the same and there's nothing that stands out. I think he's gonna stand out and do some big things. And if anybody's concerned about the money that he lost, there was no way he can take the money. I know I said last week if he goes pro he could. he can't take that money no matter what. You have to declare your amateur status beforehand, so you can't take it. But he's going to be fine. So for turning pro, he gets a guaranteed $500,000. That's what they instituted last year. That anybody that goes pro for your rookie season, you get a guaranteed 500K. And anything you make more than that, you make. If you make less, it doesn't matter. You're at least getting that 500K. He gets into all of these signature events, which are no cut, so he's going to be making a ton of money on those. Again, he's going to be just fine. Don't worry about the 1.3 million he lost. He's going to make more than that, I'm sure, the rest of this year. Just probably signature events and the 500K alone. Next piece of news we have. How about this? I'm sure everybody saw it. We've got Anthony Kim, a big story. It feels like, so Dylan DeChair, huge article here, seemingly discussing the impending return of Anthony Kim, AK. It feels like we weekly get memes and questions. What if AK comes back? What if, imagine how good he would be or what he could have done. It seems like it's a weekly thing on Twitter. We get some type of Ryder Cup highlight or President Cup, Ryder Cup. I don't know if he did a Ryder Cup. I think it's President's Cup. And we see his highlights and some of his quotes and just how electric he was. And it's possible we see him come back. Now, where is his game going to be? We don't know. We saw another tweet, I think from Monday Q, that was they sourced incorrectly and it showed a practice session from him, but it was actually a few years ago. So we don't really know where his game's at. But the fact that Anthony Kim is, all signs are, according to Dylan DeChair, of him coming back is wild and never. It's like seeing Bigfoot in real life, honestly, if he does come back. And then the questions that you have to ask are, is it going to be PGA Tour? Is it going to be Live? If he goes to the PGA Tour under past champion status, because I believe he won 2 or 3 PGA Tour events. I'm not really sure. Might have only been 1. I don't know. I know he won 1, though. If he goes to the PGA Tour, he can start right away with that past champion status. He wouldn't be in the signature events, but he'd be in some of the full field events. And I'm sure with the buzz he would create, would get plenty of sponsor exemptions. If he goes Live, Rahm's team isn't filled up yet, so you never know what we're going to get. Who knows what's going to happen, but a seemingly impending return for AK is wild to think about. And then the other big, we got 2 more. The other big story of the week was that, all right, just make sure I have it up here. Bring it up a little further. So that Adrian Moronk, who I made a video about him last week actually, that it seems like he did everything he could have possibly done right, everything he could have to get onto the Ryder Cup team for Team Europe. He won at Marco Simone in the Italian Open, kind of got snubbed from the team by Luke Donald. Was that a part of it? Maybe, but Adrian Moronk, the Polak, I don't know if that's a derogatory term. I hope not. The Polish golfer Adrian Moronk goes to Live. I have nothing against Adrian Moronk. I'm Polish myself, Polish and Italian. So he goes to Live, and then there's also talk about potentially Hatton too. So most of it was Adrian Moronk, but there's these slivers that say Hatton is also kind of close, even though he said he's playing the Phoenix Open. I don't know. We'll see. But Live continues to take more and more guys, and it just continues to confuse me, what's happening with this deal. Again, I'm going to say it again. They plan on getting it done by the Masters, and Jay Monahan went over to the Middle East to discuss this deal. Who knows what's going to happen? It just gets more and more confusing the more players that they continue to grab. I don't know. And then the last thing we got for today is unfortunate, is Jay Lindbergh is going to be outfitting Team USA Golf for the Olympics, which it's not great. Look, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see, I can't tell if, I said this when I saw them, is the model just douchey looking, or are these not good looking? I don't hate the red one, but I'm not sure I like any of them really. Like, is the model douchey or is it just not great outfits? It could be both. But I'm sure Victor Hovland got a laugh out of that after how much I'm sure plenty of American fans have been ripping on him. Probably all fans rip on him for his get up when he goes to all these tournaments, especially at majors. It seems like it gets worse and worse when he gets to majors. Um, Probably got a little chuckle out of seeing that his outerwear sponsor is sponsoring Team USA. So we'll see. Well, we know what it's going to look like. We'll see what it looks like on our actual athletes. And then finally, we will go to our shank of the week. So we don't need Twitter anymore. So I'm going to go back to just the golf or the regular station here. Based on last week, so if you remember last week, started the shank of the week segment. Again, it's a new segment highlighting either switch it up a little bit. It's going to be either a shank, we're going to watch a shank on video and discuss it, or I've changed it up a little bit. I thought it was just going to be golf adjacent content, but I feel like I want to bring in everything. So all walks of life. Today it's going to be, is it a shank? Is it something else? Is it totally non-golf related? It is non-golf related. It is, I'm a big music guy. Really enjoy music, and it's the biggest thing I listen to, all genres. Big Beatles guy, big hip hop guy, EDM, all the good stuff. Country, can't beat it. Music's fantastic. So with recent releases of Peanut by Lil Dicky and then Insano by Kid Cudi, that's what I wanted to talk about today, is just great new music that's coming out. It's been a long awaited release of Lil Dicky's music from the show Dave. If you haven't watched Dave, it's a fantastic show. That album, Mr. McAdams, hits very hard. It's not your, if you've listened to Lil Dicky, it's not your typical hip hop, but it's fun, good beats. Lil Dicky's a great rapper. So it's a good album. I think you'll enjoy it. Go check it out. And then for Cudi, Insano by Cudi, his new album that released, I think, a week or two ago. This follows up his excellent Man on the Moon 3. I don't really count his Intergalactic album that came out, I think, 2 years ago, because it's kind of linked to his TV show. So going from Man on the Moon 3 to Insano, a couple tracks I like so far. Electro Wave Baby, X and Cud, which is XXX Tentacion, who has obviously passed away. Both of those have some classic Cudi vibes to them. And that's the shank of the week. So there's some music for you. Go check it out. Lil Dicky's Peanut and Kid Cudi's Insano, both out now. Go check them out. If you noticed on the YouTube thumbnail, the album art is up there. So I'm gonna try and sneak in little Easter eggs on the album art, or not album art, the thumbnails of the YouTube videos going forward. So before you go into the videos, see if you're able to kind of figure out what the shank of the week might be, if it's golf related, if it's a shank, or if it's just out pop culture or news, stuff like that. So yeah, expanding it a little outside of the golf realm as well going forward. And besides that, let me know what you think of those two albums. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to Commit to Hit. I think I might throw this up on as a podcast too. It's going to be tough to see some of the visuals that I put out there, but it is mostly audio listening. But I definitely would appreciate the subscribes to YouTube. Make sure you follow me at Commit to Hit on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, of course, as well. And if I didn't say Twitter as well. I'm always on that. Sorry for I feel like my brain's not working. It's a little cold in my basement. But I'll be better next week. I'll get a little more together, a little less rambling, a little less spacey. All right. So again, thank you as always. Check out the other videos if you missed any of the other recaps. Again, I'll have the shorter highlights of the recap on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And I'll see you next week for the season's second signature event at good old Pebble Beach. All right. Have a good weekend. Enjoy NFL Championship Sunday. And I'll see you next week. Peace.